welcome to another Pick Apart reading. Thank you so much for being here. So this topic that we're going to be getting into is a little bit of a deeper topic. This is basically life guidance for your soul. So it's a little bit more, I suppose you could say, on the spiritual side of things. It's a little bit more about like your spiritual journey and like how you can grow, or maybe like what might be affecting you at the moment or blocking you, or things that you might not see. For each group we go into a 6-card spread. We have a card that represents you, we have a card that represents past issues that are impacting you at present. We look at current issues and near future challenges. We look at hidden influences affecting you, so those are those things that you may not know are affecting you. We look at external influences that are affecting you, so things happening outside of you that are affecting you within. And then the final card is about how to move forward. So we get a lot of information, a lot of guidance, and it should be a very informative reading for everybody. So if you're interested in a private reading with me, feel free to check out my Instagram details in the description box below. I have various services that are in my story highlights, and I post various other content over there as well. I have a free reading giveaway going on until the 22nd of Feb. So if you want to enter that, go check out the post on my page and follow the very, very simple instructions. But other than that, I believe I can probably stop talking about that and we can look at our pile selections. So group 1 had the asteroid of Hygeia. Group 2 have the asteroid Lilith. And group 3 have the asteroid Vesta. So if you need to pause the video and take a moment to take a big deep breath, center yourself and feel which asteroid's pulling you in, then feel free to do so. And I will see you over in your piles reading. Hi group 1, welcome to your general life guidance reading. I hope you guys are doing well. So if you were drawn to pile 1, this is the asteroid that you were drawn to here. Pronunciation wise, my attempt is going to be Hygeia, but that could be very wrong. So this asteroid very briefly touches on like our mental space, our physical space, our eating, taking good care of ourselves, including not only the physical health, but like mental health, emotional health, energetic health, including the space around us and things like that. So maybe that will tie into your reading in some way by the end of it. Where are we going to pop you? Just slide him in there, I think. That'll be okay. All right, so we've got our cards laid out on the table. This card is going to be the one that we reveal last because this is how to move forward. So we're not going to reveal that one just yet. We're going to just start with our spread here. So the first card of the spread is our Secret Temptation card here. So this is number 31 and this is representing you at the moment. So this card is all about something that's sort of tempting you either to act out of alignment or just sort of tempting you to stray off your path or just sort of veer off from your highest path in some way. This can be a time when our shadow side is kind of creeping in and tempting us to do things that maybe we don't always do. Maybe it could be like escapism or just sort of wanting to get away, or for some people it could be like dark thoughts or negative thoughts that are coming into play again, and you're trying to sort of get rid of them because they're sort of leading you on a path of self-sabotage by buying into these thoughts and things like that. I expect that we'll figure out more along the way, but this definitely tells me that there is something that's sort of tempting you to act out of alignment with your higher self, is what I want to say there. I can't help but feel like in here it almost looks a little bit like a volcano that's kind of erupting up here. So this is giving me like a build up type of energy where like maybe pressure has been increasing and things have been brewing and things have been brewing and things have been brewing, and then you're getting to the point where you just are ready to explode. So maybe you're tempted to start like, you know, reacting to people or matching people's energy or lowering your own frequency, or acting, you know, like I said, out of alignment with your higher self. Maybe you're having less control over your emotional reactions and responses and things like that. Because I'm very drawn to the fact that to me looks like there's like a volcano that's erupting in his mind. From this card, I feel like some of you may be experiencing some pressure around the pineal gland between your eyebrows there. Maybe you're feeling some pressure or pain in there, or even like a literal physical build-up of pressure in your head. Even like in here, sort of behind your ears, they're highlighting here and here to me, behind the ears. So you could be feeling the physical effects of that all through even all through the top of your head. You could be experiencing some mental fog. You could be experiencing some like sinus type of issues. And I feel like your energy needs a big clearing or a big sort of like release of some kind in a healthy way, obviously. All right, that's I think about all that I'm getting from that first card to represent you at the moment. So the next card that we're going to look at is, this is number 2 here. So this is past issues that are impacting you at present. So this is more of a card of the past. So you guys have number 33, and it says soul fragments, balance will be restored. So this card to me is like feeling as though your energy is being pulled in lots of different directions. It's feeling like there's a lot of people or a lot of situations that need a lot from you, and just feeling very scattered with your energy and feeling like you're giving yourself away to others constantly, and leaving this sort of void within yourself. So it kind of, instead of being like involved in situations or involved in like relationships that are like an even give and take, it's almost like you're giving everything and receiving nothing in return. And this is just sort of draining your energy. You're sort of giving your power away. Again, I'm drawn to the sinus area and the head. So I am feeling like recent, past and current, your physical symptoms. If you're showing physical symptoms, those are the areas that are really coming through. Potentially even maybe heart palpitations. Of course, if you feel like you need to see a doctor, then feel free to go and do that. Obviously, I'm not a medical professional, but this does look like it's mostly like an emotional or spiritual type of issue, where it's as a result of giving your power away and not giving enough to yourself. So it's like a burnout type of energy here. And that could be why you want to just like escape, because I was getting this escapism energy as well. So like, you know, sometimes when we're at that point, we just want to go and forget about all of our responsibilities and forget about all the things that are taking our energy, and we just want to have fun, let loose, not think about it. So, you know, go out drinking, go out partying, you know, use substances or use unhealthy coping mechanisms. So if that's something that you're dealing with, then try not to be tempted down that road. Try to find healthy coping mechanisms. But it looks like That's the reason that you have this sort of temptation to be led astray, is because your energy is just really drained from interacting with too many situations that don't give enough back compared to what you're putting in or giving away on your end. Hot head, like a hot head. It's another little physical symptom that they're giving me, is a hot head. So that could be something else that some of you might be feeling. But yeah, I'm just really focused on the fact that this is just it just looks like a big void in the heart space. So it's like a lot of mental energy and a lot of mental and physical energy is being given to other people, and not enough's being like put into that heart space. It's like you're just leaving that as a void and focusing too much on everyone else around you, or the people and things and places around you, and not focusing enough on yourself. So that's what I'm getting there. Anything else that I might be missing? I just feel like this card is like, I'm getting the message of like dimming light. So it's like your light is getting smaller and smaller and smaller while you're trying to hold on to it, but because your energy is so scattered and you're reaching such a burnout, like there's not much light left before that darkness just sort of takes over. Like you really need to immediately prioritize, like as soon as you finish this reading, or even if you want to pause it right now and go and do something for yourself that can contribute to filling your own cup or refilling your own energy, because that's really crucial for you to do at the moment. It's like you're clinging onto that last bit of light inside you, where you just need to start sort of instead of giving all that energy away, you need to start giving it back to yourself now. I just realized we have 31, 33, and then 32. So we've got a few cards that are all next to each other, which is interesting. We are going to move on to this one now. This is the third card. So this is current and near future challenges. So this is number 32, shield your energy. And so the thing about frogs is that they're very sensitive to their environment, and if there's any type of like toxicity where they're living, they can't survive. So they can really not handle being around toxic things, toxic people, toxic places. Like they only live in the cleanest of environments. So I feel like this is, it does say look beneath the surface, and it literally says shield your energy, because this is all tying in together very clearly to me, where it's like your energy is being pulled away from you all the time, and it's not necessarily the most clean environment to be in when people are constantly taking from you and not giving you anything back in return. So this frog's asking you to assess your environment, assess the people that you're spending your time with, assess the way you feel in certain places or around certain people, and just start to really pay attention to how you feel, because it does seem like you do need to shield your energy from something or someone, because it doesn't have your best interests at heart. It's not serving you, and it's really just draining you instead of adding any type of value or importance to your life. So current near future challenge is basically detoxing your surroundings. So that may include people, it might include a job, it might include a house, it might include some place that you go to often, and then afterwards, whenever you leave that place, you leave feeling really crappy or something. Like this is on all levels. It's about detoxing your environment and getting rid of anything that is polluting you or your energy. You may even need to look at like cleansing the energy of your home, cleansing your aura with like white sage, or doing some sort of like energy clearing, because there seems to be something that you're not seeing that's affecting your energy or harming your energy in some type of way. So moving on to the next card, we're going over here now. So this is hidden influences affecting you, and we have the hidden realms card for the hidden influences. Yeah, so we were just talking about unseen things affecting your energy. So definitely cleanse your home and cleanse your space and cleanse your aura, because for this card to be in the hidden influences affecting you, there's definitely an unseen energy that's definitely like draining you. So this could be even on like a different level or in a different dimension, or like even in your dreams or something. It's like something's feeding off your energy, and just, I don't want to freak anybody out. Like, how can I describe this? Like, entities don't necessarily, I mean, obviously it's going to be different for everyone, and I'm speaking from my experience, but entities can't affect you because you do have free will. So as long as you can sort of set the intention, do your protection and all of that, it's not something that you have to worry about. And then often when you are, like, let's say for argument's sake, an entity is attached to your energy, it's not really like in the movies where like all that paranormal stuff starts happening. Like, I'm sure that in some situations that might be the case on extreme levels. I'm not like ruling that out, but especially with this card and with what I read, this is more like, your mood changes, you get irritable, maybe you start sort of eating a bit of junk food and like craving bad things and like bad foods, and just those little temptations that you just start to kind of indulge in, that before you know it, they like take over you. That's the kind of unseen influence that I'm kind of talking about here, is like an entity like sort of draining your energy, and it's kind of, you're lacking sort of your self-discipline and things like that. Like, generally speaking, that's how I see the whole energy attachment, and like especially you notice it in people's moods. So usually just like an energy clearing or a cord cutting meditation does the trick, or just like asking your angels or your guides to sort of cleanse you and protect you. Like, it's really not that difficult to do. You could easily do some research and find something that resonates with you to sort of do a cleanse. But I would definitely recommend like white saging your house, doing protection on your house, and doing that on yourself as well, because you seem to be susceptible to those darker entities at the moment, and they can definitely kind of drain your energy and pull you out of alignment, tempt you out of alignment. It's all about sort of asking, your team of 100% pure light beings to surround you with 100% love and light at all times, and just declaring, that there's no I just lost my train of thought. I just got lost in the image for a second then and kind of spaced out. Definitely you could call in the archangels. So if you do some research on archangels, like Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, any of the archangels, you can call upon them as well. And they can come and protect you and like make sure that you're being looked after and you're safe and things like that. And just, regular meditations and things that are just helping you clear your energy regularly. yeah, I feel like if you clear your you're a bit of a radio receiver, whether you realize it or not. So if you're not regularly cleansing your channel, you're going to pick up a static, and sometimes you're going to pick up on like darker type of energies, and other times you're going to pick up on more angelic light energies. So as you start to sort of expand into your spiritual nature, you are picking up on different types of energies, and that's the unseen influence at the moment that's affecting you, is that you're potentially not sort of cleansing your signal enough, and you're not able to just pick up on the messages of love and light or the beings of love and light. Perhaps you're picking up on other beings as well. And this is where intention and connecting to your light and connecting to your angels really is important, to make sure that you're protected and to make sure that you're connecting to the right sources. I feel like you definitely have spirit animal helpers in the subtle realms as well. And I feel like the more meditation and the more connecting you do to this spiritual nature of yourself, or the spiritual side of yourself, I believe that you can create a conscious awareness of the beings that are around you, and you can like intentionally connect with them, or they can send you symbols or wisdom or something along those lines. All right, so next card is over here. And this is external influences that are affecting you at the moment. So you've got 28, mindful wisdom, create inner harmony. So what I feel like this card is actually saying is that if you can create an inner harmony within you, there actually are no external influences that can affect you. So, you know, your journey is about going within and creating this inner peace and creating this inner sanctuary where you're connecting to love and light, you're connecting to your higher wisdom, you're connecting to your higher self, and intentionally doing what you need to do to keep your energy nice and light. Obviously, we're human and we all have our days. But, you know, the more meditation that we do and the better that we treat ourselves, our mind, body and soul, the cleaner our vessel becomes, and the more easy it is to stay connected to our love and our light side. So the more that you take care of yourself, and the more that you pull your energy back in towards yourself and start to really invest in yourself, I feel like you can create a very calm and centered inner world where you do have a very clear channel to connect with those beings of love and light and get through incredible wisdom that you could even share with other people. So maybe you even have a mission where you're meant to be, you know, a vessel for the divine and spread wisdom and spread knowledge that you receive through your signal, through your channel. So I do feel like you're definitely in the midst of an ascension, and potentially everything that's going on at the moment is leading you to this ascension. So it all has its purpose, and each part of the journey is something to be grateful for, even if it's hard to see it at the time. But I do feel like where you're going and the journey that you're on is going to lead you to like a very beautiful life. It's going to lead you to beautiful new heights, and a whole lot of expansion and like crown chakra activations, you know, new ways of expressing yourself and expressing your truth, new ways of connecting with others, new ways of seeing the world, and even like new confidence and new love for yourself. The more that I look at the owl, I just see like more colours. So I'm seeing the purple and the indigo for the crown and the third eye, and then I'm seeing the heart chakra colours, and I'm seeing the yellow for the solar plexus, and then we're seeing a little bit of orange and a little bit of the reddish tones down here as well. So all the chakra colours are in there, which I feel like is very intentional, and I feel like it's representing that alignment, like that beautiful healthy glow when all of your chakras are aligned and you know, flowing beautifully. All right, so the final card here is the How to Move Forward card. So we'll do our little grand reveal. 24 light code. So this would tell me that your advice going forward, which actually we briefly touched on over in these kind of two cards here. So a few things that this card refers to are basically like to receive light codes and to align your frequency with like the earth and the earth. Have I said that right? Help me out. Okay, thank you. So as we awaken to our light body and we start to awaken to our gifts and things like that, our like things can really start to change within us. So we can start to these are just some examples, you know, one could resonate or more could resonate, but, you know, things like going off meat and, you know, dairy intolerances and, you know, needing to eat less. What are some other things besides food, spirit? Basically just taking care of, like we said before, taking care of your mind, body, soul in new levels. So drinking a whole lot of water, eating a very alkaline sort of vegan diet, and keeping your vessel super clean on an emotional, mental, physical and spiritual level. That's going to really help your light body activations, and like as you absorb all these light codes and your spiritual gifts expand, because essentially when we do awaken to our gifts, this is our light body activating. So we have like our physical body and we have a light body, which is like our, I believe it's like our energetic body. So as you can see here, this is like a physical, or her, his, I'm not really sure. They've got a physical body, but then there's this kind of like outline of like an expanded kind of body. And that's where like our light codes are held. So you could consider them like DNA activations that help us awaken to past lives, or like gifts that we've carried over lifetimes, and wake us up to our spiritual nature, and basically help us ascend. And the clearer our vessel is, the better these upgrades can come into play, and the easier it is on our body and our energy, because it can take a lot out of you. So as you do go through these upgrades, you can end up really, really exhausted and burnt out and drained. And it's very important to like get more rest, get regular meditation, get a lot of water, and listen to your needs, so that your body doesn't take this process so hard. It can kind of flow with the changes better when you're taking better care of yourself. Definitely pineal gland activations, like major third eye openings for you guys. I feel like you're going to start having very active dreams, very active visions during your meditations and things like that. And I do feel like a lot of you in the near future, moving forward, are going to be called to travel to a certain place. And this is very, very, very important. If you feel called to travel somewhere, this is your soul pulling you there, because there's soul fragments there for you to recall or draw back to you. So I'll try not to talk too long and get too sidetracked, but basically lifetime after lifetime, if we've done our earthly incarnations many times, we could have been all over the world, right? And our energy kind of imprints on the earth everywhere that we've been, and sometimes we get pulled to go to a certain location because our soul's been there before, and when we connect with the land or connect with that environment, we draw back that piece of us within us, and maybe we might recall something from a past life, or we awaken to a gift from a past life, because that energy stays here, it stays in the earth, it imprints itself in there. And that's why when you go to certain locations, you can come back feeling like a new person, or you can feel totally rejuvenated, and it's usually because you needed to go there to recall some part of yourself or something, and it may not be conscious, it may all happen subconsciously, but there's a reason that you're called there, and this is telling you that if you are called to travel somewhere, definitely go there, because there's specific energy for you to kind of connect with in that place. This card, they're also reminding me, is also about connecting with your mission in life, your true path or your true purpose. And oftentimes, especially because I'm getting light worker vibes in this pile, oftentimes part of that mission is like some sort of humanitarian effort or some sort of act of service to a community or to the world, or some sort of contribution to the earth or humanity that helps in some type of way. So I do recall actually that we spoke about, I mentioned that maybe you are meant to be a vessel for the divine to share knowledge and spread wisdom. And I'm definitely getting validation through here that this is you awakening to that humanitarian mission, and that you do have a specific contribution to this world. And it's either to help the earth, so it's like some sort of like environmental or climatic mission where you are trying to help the climate or help the earth or help animals or help forests or something along those lines, help the ocean, something to do with the earthly realm, or it could be to help humans in some way, help them wake up or help them heal, or help inspire them or something along those lines. So now that we go back to Hygeia, I can see that I can see why it's so important that that card was your pile selection, because this is, as we said, the asteroid that represents, excuse me, like your mental space, your physical space, keeping everything nice and clean and cleansed, and keeping your space positive on an inner level and on an outer level as well. So awesome how that came and tied in. Anyway, group 1, this is where I'm going to leave you for this reading. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you've enjoyed this one. It's something a little bit different. So let me know how it resonated for you in the comments, or maybe like it if you don't feel comfortable commenting. If you're interested in a private reading for me, check out my Instagram details below. My services are in my story highlights, and if you want to book, you can just send me a DM with which one you're interested in, and we can lock that in for you. I also have a giveaway running over the next few days. So there's a post on my profile that you can enter the competition. It's really, really easy. So if you want to enter, and you can possibly win a free group reading for you and up to 4 friends. So check that out if you're interested. But if this is where I leave you, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. Hi group 2, welcome to your general life guidance reading. I hope you guys are doing well. So if you're drawn to group 2, you were drawn to Lilith here. And briefly, Lilith, gosh, that's actually like a little bit of a tongue twister to roll off the tongue. Lilith is an asteroid that kind of represents like personal transformation. So that's, obviously in a nutshell, a very small nutshell, but essentially what I feel like is that this group is possibly going to be going through quite a transformation. And briefly looking at this, I can kind of see it in here as well. So we'll get into your messages. This is a 6-card spread. We start off with a card representing you. We go into past issues impacting you at the present. We look at sort of current / near future challenges for you, hidden influences that might be affecting you at the moment, things that you're not seeing, external influences that are affecting you, and then the last card is your guidance on moving forward, like what to do moving forward, best path forward, whatever we can tell you about moving forward that's going to benefit you the most. So we'll start with our first card, which is a card that's representing you. So this card of meditation would tell me that at present you could be feeling a little bit overwhelmed. You could be feeling a little bit stressed, a little bit anxious, a little bit concerned, or a little bit burdened with quite a bit going on, and starting to feel a little bit out of control potentially of your circumstances in some way. So this is about bringing yourself back to your center and persisting with meditation. So even if you feel like you don't have time for meditation, this is about persisting through that and making sure that you commit to this routine, because there's a saying that I love, that it's like, if a person should sit in meditation for 30 minutes a day, unless you're too busy, then you should sit for an hour. Because when we're busy, that's when it's even more important to give ourselves that time. So at the moment, as I said, you could be feeling a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit out of control of your current circumstances, and this is where you need to kind of get the control over your inner world in order to feel like you have a handle on your outer world. There is something about this that will improve your connection to the spirit world as well. So I definitely feel, we've got like sort of birds flying around in here. We've got a bird in here. We've got various other animals in the background. So I'm getting the vibe that spirit is trying to communicate with you. And potentially you're missing that communication because you're not consciously trying to connect to it. So whether this is sort of just for your personal evolution, or whether this is for you to share with a community similar to group 1, we'll find out. But you seem to need to bring a conscious awareness to the communication going on in your head, because I don't think it's all yours. I feel like spirit is talking to you, or maybe your higher self is even talking to you, or there's some type of information exchange going on, like in your dream state or in your subconscious. So if we look at past issues affecting you at the present, that would definitely tell me with the Hidden Realms card that I feel like because you're not meditating enough, the communication's very frazzled and it's all almost like on top of each other, and you can't distinguish what's your own thoughts from what spirit is kind of sending you. Or maybe you don't even realize that some of it's not your own thoughts. I remember when I started out on this journey, I realized that I never really started out. I was kind of born into it, because I realized that the mental chatter that was going on all the time since I can remember, a lot of it wasn't actually my own thinking. It was actually coming from my higher self or coming from another source. And once I actually figured out what was going on, and I realized that it's that information that I don't really know how I know it, I just do, then I started to realize that it's coming from hidden realms. It's coming from my angels, or it's coming from my higher self. I'm channeling a divine being and getting that information through. So I started to recognize that, and then with regular meditation, you can start to figure out the difference between what are your thoughts and then what is communication and information being exchanged. I just can't help but see like how many beings and other things are in these two cards. So this is like it's almost like there's no way to filter what you're receiving, and you're just receiving information from all sorts of sources, whether this is physically or whether this is happening on a subconscious level, and it is becoming very overwhelming for you. And maybe it's even causing you to like withdraw and want to be away from people, and maybe you're starting to feel a little bit socially anxious and a little bit I know when I get like this, like if I'm being bombarded with a lot of information and communication and I'm not regularly resetting my energy enough, especially now that I'm working in this work a lot more often, if I'm not regularly clearing my channel and I get overwhelmed, I start to not want to go to the shops, I start to not want to socialize with people, and my willingness to connect with others just like plummets to an all-time low. So they're kind of giving me that situation, because I feel like some of you are getting to that as well, where you're like, excuse me, you're like you're withdrawing, you're not talking about what you're going through, you're keeping a lot to yourself, you're not wanting to be around people as much, you're not wanting to go to the shops, you're feeling anxious about it and just overwhelmed by things that maybe you don't necessarily normally feel overwhelmed by. So meditation is the trick there, just so that you know. All right, so moving on over to the current / near future challenges. So this card here is number 15. It says eternal union, new love is forming. So a near future challenge for you, or a current challenge that may be playing out as we speak, is, it seems to be that they're, so this doesn't have to be romantic love, even though the imagery is obviously very romantic. But this card represents the fact that soulmates come and go throughout our lifetime all the time. Someone that we meet for 5 minutes and that we absolutely despise, or like someone that we cross paths with who just happens to trigger us, even that's a soulmate. It might be a karmic soulmate, but basically a soulmate is someone that comes here to teach us something, to help us grow. So if that's the definition of a soulmate, soulmates could literally be people that we cross in the street that, you know, really get to us. So this is about accepting the fact that some soulmates are temporary, some soulmates might last a lifetime, and some might be good, some might be bad, some might be difficult, some might be really easy. But they all come here to teach us something, and they have a purpose, and when that purpose is fulfilled, we move on. That eternal love, that is something that will come, and when that purpose is, like when the purpose of you coming together is for a greater purpose, it's almost like, how would I describe this? Sometimes the purpose of you coming together is because your purpose is to have a lifelong relationship. So it's like kind of asking you to surrender to the art of detachment. So being present and enjoying relationships for what they are when they are around, and understanding that they could leave at any time, but it had a purpose at the time, and that purpose is fulfilled. So if that connection doesn't last the lifetime, it wasn't meant to, and there will be something that comes that is that eternal love. So you may already be connected, and this might be telling you that there is like a soulmate entering your life that's maybe karmic, that's here just to help you grow, to trigger you, to help you grow. Look, our next card's expansion. Where we're going with this is expansion. And then move forward with an open heart. So there's new connections coming into your life. They won't all be good. They won't all be bad. You might get a mixture, but they all have a higher purpose, and it is to help you grow and expand, and you're being guided to move forward with an open mind and an open heart. Enjoy everything for what it is while you have it, and stop thinking so much about where it's going tomorrow, or where it's going next week, or in 4 years' time. This is about accepting what soulmates are and what that means, and owning the fact that maybe they won't be around forever, but that's okay. Sorry, one moment. But it's about not shutting yourself off to people or connections out of the fear that they're going to go wrong, because even if they do go wrong, again, the purpose was to help you expand. It was to help you learn something. It was to help you learn a lesson and close a cycle potentially. So this is kind of asking you not to see, I suppose, these new connections as a challenge, and just to openly accept them, knowing that you will figure out their purpose one way or another, and one way or another is going to help you expand. So it is all for the better in the end, regardless of whether it's a good or a bad soulmate, regardless of whether they're here for a good time or a long time, or whatever the case. Accept that there's a purpose to it. It's going to help you expand, and don't shut it out or approach it with skepticism. Just allow. Simply just surrender and allow. If you are in a connection, I want to say that in the hidden realms that exist within you, they could be impacting the connection at present. If I look at past issues and current near future challenges and this is like a relationship that's already existing, I can definitely see that being that like subconscious issues are triggering someone in a connection. And it could be like sort of cracking open a layer of ego, and you might feel very vulnerable. But I think that there's like a cord that needs to be cut here for your growth. Okay, moving on to hidden influences affecting you. Hidden influences affecting you. So I feel like this card's trying to tell us that what you're going through, it doesn't appear to be an expansion. It actually feels potentially like your world's being split apart or split into two. So like I said, it's like you feel very vulnerable, and maybe you don't necessarily realize that this is an expansion because it feels either painful, or you feel like, you just, generally feel broken or cracked or vulnerable in some way. And because of that, it doesn't come across as an expansion. Maybe it comes across as like an ending, or like some sort of like catastrophe, but it's not that. Because if this is hidden, then it's like you don't see it as an expansion. You're like, why am I so overwhelmed? Why am I being triggered? Why am I going backwards? And what's hidden from you is that you're not going backwards, you're just peeling back a layer to get back to your most authentic and vulnerable self, and to kind of like tear that ego away and expand through this situation. So there's something to learn here, and at the moment maybe it's hidden from you, and at the moment maybe you can't see it, but at the end of the day, there's something to learn, and you will evolve past this. Like there's a reason for it. All right, so moving on over here, external influences affecting you. Yeah, so this card again looks very frazzled, like the energy looks very frazzled, like a static connection. And so what I feel like this is saying is that external influences that are affecting you is all this noise that's going on, which we did briefly touch on over here. So you're definitely like a radio receiver for the universe. And you are being given information and downloading a lot of information and wisdom to help you on your path, and to help you expand and to help you connect with your higher self more. But there's so much noise going on because you're not meditating enough that it's overwhelming you and it's affecting you in a more negative way. Whereas if you can clear the signal and get a more solid signal, I feel as though, the messages will come through like loud and clear, so that you need to kind of find a way to like still your mind or silence, your monkey mind, as the who called it the monkey mind? I can't think now, but then it could have been like a Buddhist or a monk or something that I was reading about, who said that we always have a monkey mind that wants to just chat, and we've got to silence the monkey mind in order to hear like our higher selves, the wisdom and the thoughts, and to hear our soul. So it's like silencing the monkey mind to hear the important stuff. So it's almost like you need to kind of silence the monkey mind, which is like that, oh, what if, and the overthinking and all of that, to get a clear signal to help you move forward in your journey at the moment. So for those of you that aren't in a connection, I do want to point out that there could be something coming in for you soon. And the whole reason that it's so important to clear all this out is because you're going to approach this in a very skeptical and paranoid energy if you don't silence this monkey mind. So whatever you've been through in the past, you've definitely got some fears and some subconscious beliefs that seem to overwhelm you at times, and potentially you don't open yourself up to new connections out of fear of it going bad, or out of the fear of the past recreating itself in your present, and having to repeat cycles. So it's almost as though your guides are asking you to clear out all of this stagnant or stuck energy of the past, this residual energy of the past, in order to open your heart and open your mind to what's coming in. Because it looks like you could have something really solid. 1 and 5 equals 6, which is the card of the Lover's card in tarot. So that would be like a very deep divine connection, like it says, an eternal connection. So even someone that's this is a connection that could be traveling over lifetimes together, like something very, very infinite. So not just over this lifetime. When it talks about eternal, this is like eternal, like beyond this life. And if you don't have an open mind and an open heart, you might miss this opportunity, and then you may need to wait for the right time for it to open back up again, because obviously it looks like the divine timing is coming up, but you have free will. So everybody has free will, and the divine can't control that. And you may decide you're not ready, or you may decide that it's not for you, or that you're not willing to take that risk if you're not in a clear enough energy, and if you're buying into all of the negative critical thinking, or if you're buying into the subconscious fears and beliefs that you're carrying over from the past at some point here. Also with Galactic Healer, maybe you could potentially call in your galactic guides. Whenever calling in any spirits or energies, I always recommend setting a clear intention to connect with only beings of 100% pure light. Because if you don't set that intention, again, you could be connecting with anything in those realms. You could have a darker energy coming through, giving you information which may not actually help you. It may put you on a totally different path, or it may feed into your fears and your anxieties. Whereas if you're connecting to those light beings and you're asking for the information from the correct sources, they're going to give you the truthful information, the correct information, and they're going to help you rise above those fears and those subconscious beliefs. So you could have some helpers in the subtle realms that are here to help you, help clear that energy, help silence that inner critic that you seem to be coping with, and to move forward with a more open mind and a more open heart space to what's coming in for you. All right, so final card, how to move forward. Oh, very interesting. We have number 8, channel your knowledge, critical judgment. We're just talking about your inner critic. So to filter out your inner critic, you could try, what do they call it? Automatic writing. So like, this is where you kind of just grab your journal and you just sit and you just begin to write, and you just write until you're not really consciously writing. It's like your higher self kind of just takes over and takes the reins and starts to bring information through. So obviously everything requires persistence. Even your meditation requires persistence, but even this requires persistence. It does take practice and you will get better over time. But the whole idea of it is just sort of putting pen to paper and trying not to think and just trying to just let it flow. And then the better you get at it, it's information that's coming to you from your higher self or from another source. And it's like the information's coming through you as opposed to coming from you. And that's a really good way to discern whether or not what you're thinking is based on your own fears or whether it's coming from a higher source, is by doing that sort of automatic writing. I need another drink, I'm so sorry. So yeah, automatic writing could be a strategy for you to start filtering through the noise and getting to the bottom of what's going on. But it can also just help you filter your thoughts in general, because you seem to be someone that is often in their head. And I feel like you need to consciously ground yourself every day to get out of your head. And the meditation will help you get out of your head, but then also to help you organize your thoughts and organize your mental space. I feel like getting everything out onto paper is a good way for you to vent your complicated mind, or whatever's going on in your complicated mind, and try to find solutions or just clear the space, because until you get it out in some way, it just seems to sit in your mind and occupy space in your mind. So getting it out onto paper, even if you go and burn it after that, or whether you keep it in a journal or whatever, expressing it onto paper is a way for you to kind of just clear the space within you that it's occupying. So you can both access higher wisdom, higher knowledge, and you can also help to filter your thoughts, filter away your inner critic and your critical judgment that you hold towards yourself, in order to get your energy to feel more light rather than to feel so heavy. All right, let me just go through all of these cards again and see if I could be missing anything. Okay, so they're pointing out the hand on the heart space here. So I feel like maybe some of you, instead of viewing love as something that can be very healing, maybe some of you view it more like a risk to be, it's more of a risk than, what's that saying? It's on the tip of my tongue. The risk outweighs the risk outweighs the reward. That's how you view love, is that the risk outweighs the reward, and maybe you need to view it as something where you can come together with someone and heal together in union. It doesn't have to be a separate journey. This love can come in and it can have a real profound healing effect on you, and you and this person could end up having a very profound healing effect on each other, to be quite fair. But only if you view it as that. You need to definitely rewrite some of your beliefs, and change the way that you view love, some of you. So I think that's all I have for you, group 2. I don't know why, but they're telling me to go to the book for the Hidden Realms card. So there must be something that they want me to touch on that I might not be missing. So we'll just have a quick read. Traditionally, shamans are the gatekeepers to the hidden realms of ancient wisdom and magic, accessing the hidden realms for further meaning and insight into a soul's pain or an individual's dis-ease. Using conscious communication, the shaman works to bridge the realms between humanity and creation. Communicating with the elementals, nature, animal realms, ancestors, angelic forces, and spiritual beings that serve humanity as guardians, guides, teachers, masters, and more is the role of the shaman. These ancient practices have been developed and refined across time, with shamans, seers, visionaries serving their communities as mediators between the human experience and the world of nature. Restoring power to those who have experienced disempowerment or physical experience, shamanic practitioners reconnect the aspects of the soul that have been lost through trauma or life experiences. Right now, you are being asked to connect to the hidden realms, expanding your consciousness to open your mind wide and reconnect with your soul for deep healing and transformation. There is much to be learned from the hidden realms that can assist you in your waking life. Examine your dream cycles and interpret your subconscious messages. Creating conscious awareness will allow you to actively connect to your universal guardians, the elements, and the celestial realm. Like any learned skill, practice will improve the strength of your connection. Pay attention to any symbols, animals, or visual images that appear in your life now, as there is deep meaning that applies to you. So there you have it. So there's like a connection with shamans, I feel like, that they wanted me to touch on here. And like bridging that connection between the earth and the spiritual world in order for you to heal and transform. So it was interesting because we did have that card in group 1, but it was a very different message that came through. For them, it was more about becoming a vessel where they can share divine knowledge with the world. But with you guys, this is about accessing those realms in order for your growth and your evolution and your expansion. So slightly different messages and undertones. But yeah, very, very different interpretations of those cards for sure. So that's what I have for you, group 2. If you are interested in a private reading with me, you can check out my Instagram details below. My services are in my story highlights, and then you just need to DM me if there's a service in there for you. Don't forget to like this video if you've resonated with it, and let me know in the comments how it went for you, if you're interested or if you're open to talking about it. Subscribe for future uploads if you're interested. And also over on Instagram, I do have a little competition in the mix at the moment where you can win a free group reading for you and up to 4 friends. So if you're interested in something like that, go check that out. There's a few days to enter. I'm going to draw a winner live on the 22nd of the 2nd. But yeah, this is where I'll leave you. So take care, stay safe. Thank you for watching. Bye. Hi Group 3, welcome to your general life guidance reading. I hope you guys are doing well today. So if you were drawn here, the asteroid that you were drawn to is the Vesta asteroid. Now, to try to simplify this asteroid is a little bit difficult, but let's just say that in order to never be trapped or consumed by a man again, Vesta completely took a vow of chastity and focused on creating her ideal home instead. So I don't know if that's what you guys are doing, Group 3. If you guys have been very hurt in the past, you're potentially closing yourself off and trying to just focus on your home or something. We'll see how that ties in. And then the other thing coming through is like for Vesta is sort of, you know, switching the focus off of, so obviously Vesta is a female in the mythology behind it, but regardless of gender, this would just be indicating that you're kind of moving away from focusing on love because you've been betrayed or hurt. You're shifting your focus onto like the things that offer you like stability, growth, evolution, the things that make you happy, trying to figure out what you're really passionate about and things like that. So like kind of transforming your life instead of focusing on a partnership and things like that is kind of what I'm getting here. So we have a 6-card spread here, and it's all about life guidance. This is card 1, and this is sort of just representing you. This is card 2, and this is the past issues that are impacting your present. This is card 3, and this is sort of current / near future challenges. Card 4 over here is hidden influences affecting you. Card 5 is external influences that are affecting you. And then card 6, which is yet to be turned over, is our advice moving forward, or how to move forward. So we'll reveal that one at the end. We're going to leave that one face down for now. So let's begin your message. So representing you, we have Galactic Healer. So first of all, you could definitely be a healer, whether you've awakened to that yet or not. Either in a past life or in this life, you're some kind of healer. Because this is representing you after all. So you come through to me as someone that's fairly in tune spiritually, or someone that receives a lot of information from the higher realms, or maybe from your higher self or from your guides or something. But potentially you may have trouble recognizing that it's coming from a higher source, or you may have trouble tuning out your thoughts from the thoughts that are kind of being sent to you, because we have a lot of frazzled static energy coming out of her head here. So I feel like what you're receiving is not coming through very clearly at the moment. So you may need to kind of really focus on clearing your vessel so that you can open a nice clear channel and sort of open your mind to this. So that's the reason that I feel like some of you may have not fully awakened to it yet, is because it does say move forward with an open mind. So you may need to open yourself up to it and start setting intentions to connect with your guides and your higher self and things like that, because if you're not aware of it, you may not be open to it, and that could be why you're not quite hearing it very clearly, or you're not really interpreting it correctly, or something along those lines. This is all about opening your heart space and your mind to this information that's available to you, or that's trying to come through to you, and then like clearing your vessel enough to receive it. So clearing your energy regularly, drinking lots of water, getting lots of sunlight, taking care of your diet, taking care of your body, like exercising, as well as the meditation side of things. Whatever you can do to create a really clear vessel is going to help you receive that information more clearly. So if you are someone that's going to set the intention to connect with your higher beings or your spiritual team, I always recommend setting the intention to only connect with beings of 100% pure light, because you don't want to be connecting with other sources that are coming through, because you can't see what you're connecting to. So you need to set that intention very clearly to make sure that you're protected and you're connecting with sources of love and light, not the wrong types of energies that are going to mislead you or give you faulty information, or try to sort of like lead you in the wrong direction or anything like that. I think that's it with that one. So we're going to move on to past issues that are impacting you at current. So we have the Celestial Gatekeeper here, number 7. It says timing is critical. So I know that in many cultures the eagle is essentially like worshipped or viewed as like a higher power, or like a higher being. They're said to bridge the gap between like the heavens and the earth. So it's like a powerful energy coming through here. But then when I think about the eagle, so the eagle will like literally just sort of soar and be very, very patient when he's eyeing off his prey, and he will strike at the exact right time, not a second too soon and not a second too late. He times things exactly right. So if this is a past issue impacting you at current, there's some sort of like issue with timing. Let me sit with this card for a second. So something wasn't the right time to ground in the past, but maybe you felt like there was a rush or there was pressure to make something happen. Yeah, so it feels like there was like either internal pressure maybe on your end where you felt like it had to happen now, or it had to happen a certain way, or it was some sort of like some sort of wrong timing. So maybe that's why the Vesta message is coming through now that I think about it. So potentially, maybe, yeah, and we've got an emotional issue over here that we're going to talk about soon too. So I'm kind of getting the vibe here that maybe you were either in a relationship, or you've met someone, or you were connecting with someone or something, and it's gone hasn't gone the way that you thought, or it was like the wrong time for it to happen. And so because this has actually quite hurt you, you've just like dived headfirst into like your foundation and your home life and your work, and you're just like, you know, getting stuck into your goals and just letting your like ambition drive you at the moment. And maybe I feel like that's why maybe Vesta was the asteroid for this group, is because like you've just switched your focus completely. And until we get to the next cards, I don't know fully where it's going, but I feel like maybe you're diverting your attention away from your emotions and diving into your work, and potentially not allowing yourself the space to feel your emotions properly. And maybe your emotions could definitely be clouding that connection that we've got going on here, or sort of interfering into your signal. So I'm going to move on, and we may need to come back here at some point and touch more on that, but I'm going to move on to this card for now. So current/near future challenges, we've got the Kundalini Rising, ignite your passion for life, number 22. So the Kundalini Rising, if it's done in a controlled way, or a controlled environment, in a controlled circumstance. And what I mean by that is like if you're doing, say, like yoga or, you know, meditations, and easing yourself into it, it can be a very amazing experience. But if you rush into the experience, the timing message is kind of coming back in here now actually. If you rush the Kundalini Rising, like if you're in a rush to ascend, and if you're in a rush to see spirits and communicate with spirits, or to like to speed the process up, you can just get really, really overwhelmed. Or if you're not taking the time to meditate and to ground and to release your emotions and things like that, the Kundalini Rising process can really overwhelm both your body and your emotional self, and like your physical self too, even your body. It's like you need to control this process and not let this process control you, is kind of what I'm feeling. Because as we do go through a Kundalini Rising, we get like an energy activation or like an energy boost in every single one of our chakras. And what this does is it almost purges each chakra. And the reason I'm doing this is because if you imagine all of this blocked energy in the chakra, the Kundalini Rising comes through. It's like this life force energy that rises within you, and it rises through every chakra and it unblocks it. So all of that held onto or pent up emotion just gets released. And that can be a hugely triggering process or a hugely emotional process. And the whole reason that you're going through this process is to feel the emotions, let the emotions go and heal them consciously and in a healthy manner, rather than to suppress and ignore. So if you're diving headfirst into your work and diverting yourself from the emotions that you're feeling, thinking that you're, working on your passions and you're creating something huge, what this is telling you is that there's actually no rush to be working on your passions. You can get back to that in a minute. You need to start listening to your emotions and start healing your emotions along this way before you get overwhelmed, and rush this process before you're ready. So the whole reason that all of your chakras get almost like a flushing out, almost, I said almost twice, sorry. The reason that they get a bit of a flushing out is so that you can feel and heal. So in order to heal emotions, you have to feel them. You have to acknowledge that they're there. You cannot heal what you're not willing to acknowledge. So it brings them to your awareness so that you can heal them and let them go. So you need to sit with yourself. You need to heal the emotions. You need to listen to the emotions, feel them, let them go in a healthy way so that this process can happen naturally, a little bit more fluid, where you're not feeling so overwhelmed by the process and it's not like hitting you like a ton of bricks and ending up, becoming a very exhausting process because you're still holding on to too much of that energy that needs to be let go. So regular grounding, regular meditation, finding the time to really sit with your emotions and check in with yourself. Like, how am I feeling? If you're with someone that is working a lot all the time, essentially you've got all this emotion within you that you're just not even recognizing or not even taking time to listen to. So maybe it's worth sitting down with yourself and just checking in with yourself. How am I feeling? Like, how am I actually feeling? How long has it been since you've done that group 3? A check in with yourself. So we have kind of jumped ahead a little bit, but we will go over to card 5 and look at hidden influences affecting you. So number 14, energy signature. The past is in the present. So I do feel like this is a straight up message of the past is affecting you at present, which would be these emotional issues that are coming up for you to be released. So that's one thing, and I'm not going to go too much into that because we've already spoken about that. The other thing that this card is about is your sort of built-in warning system. So hidden influences affecting you, it's only hidden because you're not connected. So now I'm seeing how these messages are tying in too. So if you're not even checking in with your emotions, you're essentially holding on to things within your body that you're not feeling. So there's a disconnect between your body and your mind. Sorry, the way they're showing this to me, it's really quite difficult to interpret and put it into words, but I'm doing my best. So basically you might get little warnings within your body or your intuitive system, or just in your body in general, whether it's a gut feeling or like a goosebumps type feeling or something. But if you're disconnected, you're not going to notice those sensations. And this is telling you that there are little things in your environment and within people that you are picking up on, but you're disconnected from yourself and you're not really reading it properly. So, for example, that feeling you get when you walk into a room and you can feel that like an argument's just taken place, like there's tension in the room and you're picking up on subtle cues. Obviously that's a little bit more obvious, but if you were to go, so this is, say the people are still in the room, it's very obvious, right? But if the people are out of the room and you walk in, you would be the type of person that could still be able to feel that energy in the room after the people have left. So you could walk in there by yourself and be like, oh, it's tense in here. But because you're a little bit disconnected and a little bit out of touch with reality and a little bit maybe up in the 5D because of this Kundalini stuff and all of this communication going on with your higher self and your spiritual team, you're missing this. So you're being asked to kind of tune into your surroundings more, because you've got like this built-in warning system that tells you when someone's lying. It tells you when the energy in the room's off. It tells you when you need to leave a space for your own well-being. You have that ability, but you're just disconnected from it because you're just overwhelmed. You've got a lot of energy flowing through you at the moment and you're not really taking time to sit with it, feel it, listen to it, let it go, discern what's yours, discern what's not. And this is about connecting more to that, to recognize your true power and harness it. So I may have to pause and come back to this video because my son's just arrived home. So I will be back. Okay, group 3, I'm back. So full disclaimer, it is the next morning. I ended up being completely, my whole night went towards my son once he got home. So I got completely wound up with him. And then by the time that I got him down to bed, it was like probably at least 9 o'clock. And then I still hadn't even had my dinner yet. So I was up very late and didn't get a chance to come back to this. So I've just sort of rewatched the video to try to jog my memory, and hopefully I can get back into the flow of the reading quite easily. But like, just a warning, it's probably going to take me like a minute or two to get back into the energy of the reading completely. But I am kind of connected to it again now that I've watched it. So we kind of left between here and here. So we were looking at the hidden influences that are affecting you. And basically with this Kundalini Rising situation that you're going through, there's a lot of energy flowing through you. You're spiritually awakening and ascending very, very quickly. So during this process, it's very easy to get completely caught up in everything new that you're experiencing and wanting to ascend and wanting to rush the process and wanting to enhance your gifts and really kind of, I guess, with that timing is critical card, like it's easy to want to rush the process, but I feel like because it's already happening so quickly, essentially you're not very grounded, and that's why you're a little bit disconnected from the reality around you and not picking up on those energetic cues and those little warning systems that are kind of trying to talk to you. So getting yourself really, really grounded is going to be very, very important while all this energy is flowing through you. I feel like I should point out that, if a Kundalini Rising is going too quickly and you're not staying grounded enough, the experience can get very overwhelming, and it can even make you more susceptible to like darker energies and psychic attacks, because you're almost a little bit disconnected from your human self because you're so wrapped up in your spiritual self. We need to remember that we are human beings in this world. So as much as we are spirit in a human vessel, because our vessel is human, we have to treat it like a human. We have to keep grounded. We have to get rest. We have to treat ourselves well. Otherwise, the vessel's going to struggle to keep up with the process. So I feel like we can probably move over to this card here now, which is the external influences affecting you. So because we're looking at external influences, I want to say that there is an issue that you need to resolve with someone or about something. In your external world, there's something that's occupying a large space in your heart. and I think it's causing some emotions within you, whether you realize it or not, because again, I feel like you're not very grounded. And you need to find a way to resolve this issue and like let it go properly. I get this energy that you've been trying to hold on to emotions, but if you look at this card, you know, she's trying to hold on to water, but it's obviously just seeping through her fingers. You know, you can hold the water to a certain point, but then it's just going to overflow. So I feel like that's where you're heading if you don't start to get grounded and get present and start to listen to your body and listen to your feelings, honor your emotions, even the dark ones, because we can't be all love and light all the time. And if we try to do that, we're definitely suppressing a side of ourselves and trying to ignore the fact that we are in a 3D world with that polarity. So we do have a shadow self. That's part of the human experience. And it's not about pretending it's not there. It's about hearing it out when it does need to be heard out and letting everything go in a healthy way so that we're essentially nurturing it back to good health or nurturing it back to a good balance with our light side. So the more present you get, the more easy it will be for you to actually check in with yourself and feel how you're feeling. Yeah, I think that's all I'm getting from this card. So I think that there's definitely in your external world, there's an issue that's making you emotional, but you're not necessarily honouring your emotions. You're kind of denying them or suppressing them or pretending that it's not an issue when it really is. So there's some emotions to be released around this because that seems to be kind of, it's either affecting you subconsciously or it's like holding you back in some way in your life. So it'll kind of apply to everybody's situation a little bit differently, but that's where, you know, your discernment comes in on how that applies to you. But with, you know, this reduces to number 4. So I feel like feeling your emotions and like allowing them the space to be felt is kind of all it takes for you to get grounded and to feel stable again. So, or like I said, you could look at that number 4 as needing to ground and needing to be present to feel those emotions. So it kind of goes hand in hand, but there's a lot of stability to be found when you do honour the way that you're feeling deep down and let these emotions healthily be freed from your body. Stored emotions end up becoming like physical manifestations, and like they can cause pain and like dis-ease within the body. So it's very important to always sit with your emotions and let them go so that they don't clog up within your body. All right, so your final card's how to move forward. So we're going to turn this over and reveal it now. Okay, so we've got the turtle here, between worlds. Number 5, new directions. So how to move forward. I feel a couple of different little messages coming out of the turtle here. Firstly, I'm kind of drawn to talk about its shell, its layer of protection that it has there. You know, he's not hiding in that shell. He's come out of the shell and he may be vulnerable, but he, like, look at all the yellow around him. He's like quite confident. So I feel like it's time to like come out of your shell, you know, like stop hiding parts of yourself or stop trying to, you know, put a wall up or keep people out or keep people away or maybe maybe you view life or love or otherwise as something that you need to be careful of and protect yourself from. It could be time to kind of get a little bit more vulnerable and come out of your shell a little bit. The other thing I think about is the fact that, the turtle's home is a part of him. So regardless of where he travels, he's always at home because he's got his shell around him. So maybe there's like a relocation or something for some of you, or you're going on some type of physical journey. And this is letting you know that, home can always be found within you. Home is a space that you can cultivate within you. And that's also leading me to think that if you ever feel like you don't belong, or if you're ever feeling alone, or if you're feeling, just a little bit isolated or something, it's letting you know that you can always come home to that space within you. That if you're creating a sacred space within you, then you'll always have that sacred space to return to, even if things are not necessarily going right around you. That's a space that you can always come back to and rely upon if you're treating it well. And then this between worlds and new directions message is kind of leading me to believe that you are aligning with a new path, or you've taken a new path, and you're kind of just in that in-between phase where maybe there's a little bit of unknown, there's a little bit of uncertainty, but there's also a lot of positivity and there's a lot of happiness as well. So there's like a bit of a seesaw effect where you kind of are a little bit up and down. Sometimes you're uncertain and you're unsure, and then other times you're feeling really good and feeling really positive about this new direction. And there's like a little seesaw game going on here. But with all of the yellow and boldness coming through and the abundance coming through in this card, I feel like it's just letting you know that this is the right path. Even if it is a little bit uncertain right now, you're moving in the right direction. There's a lot of luck and abundance around you. And I feel like you're being rewarded for coming into your true self and cultivating that sacred space within you moving forward. And kind of stepping into your authenticity and following your true path and your true purpose in life. I do feel like I want to go to the book and just confirm that there's something that I'm not missing. I feel like there could be in this Between Worlds card. Okay, so interestingly enough, I do feel like I picked this up for a reason. So these two cards have a bit of a link here because this the eagle talked about timing and being in a rush, waiting for the right time. And then the turtle says that patience is needed now as you encounter new opportunities that will directly affect your life decisions. While the turtle represents the patience of life and waiting for the right time, you're encouraged not to wait too long. So we do have that fine line between not being in a rush but not waiting too long. So the timing it's very important here. So I feel like you need to, the advice that you're getting in this reading, I feel like that's what needs to be implied immediately. The advice here is what you need to implement in your life straight away, because that's what's going to help you kind of find that clarity and that balance, so that you're not missing an opportunity by either procrastinating or feeling stuck. So we'll keep going here. What did it say? So right now you may be feeling energetically blocked, physically stagnating, or feeling stuck, or in between decisions that could take you left or right, leaving you worrying if you will make the wrong decision. So try to avoid waiting too long to seize opportunities if they present themselves while the current momentum is present. So we did kind of touch on that. We touched on making a sacred space. Pay close attention to where you direct or channel your personal energy, as you can be led down opposing paths. Travel and long journeys can be favourable now, including physical and spiritual quests. We touched on that. Go with the flow, enjoy the journey, and trust in the process of life. Ultimately, just like the sea turtle, you may need to surrender. Let your spirit wander and drift within the sea of life to find your direction. So we did cover the rest. So I think that the important thing there was linking the message of time, to be sure that you're not procrastinating and putting things off out of fear because you can't wait too long. But in saying that, you can't go too quickly either. You need to be ready. You need to heal the emotional challenges and move these blockages out the way, and kind of find that balance between your human being and your spiritual nature, integrating the two to make sure that you're in a very good space. Your sacred space within and around you is very sort of, mostly within you, is very sacred, clean, a sanctuary for you to return to at any time, because you are definitely going through changes, major transformations within you, a major ascension, like awakening to your spirituality, or if you're already awakened to it, it's like a big ascension that you're going through at the moment. And along with that ascension comes the emotional purges and the releases of the blockages that you've essentially kind of suppressed until now. So there's definitely like a collective purging, like it's almost like a collective karmic clearing going on at the moment. Talking to people and doing readings and things like that, I can see that there's major karmic cycles coming to an end, and I think it has a lot to do with the North and South Node astrology placements. So if you're someone that's into astrology, you could have a look at that, the North and South Nodes, and what that means when I think they're either crossing or, I haven't looked too much into it myself, but I just, from readings that I've touched on, I have noticed that they are a key theme, and that there's something to do with those nodes that's doing this collective karmic clearing, and bringing in like a brand new cycle for many, many people. So I believe that's all I have for you, Group 3. If you're interested in a private reading with me, you can check out my Instagram details below. My services and prices are in my highlight reels under the services highlight. If there's something in there for you, you can DM me and we can book something in for you. If you resonated with this, don't forget to like it. And if you're comfortable, let me know how it resonated with you in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for future uploads. I do have many other readings on my channel if you want to go check one of those out as well. But if this is where I leave you, then thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I hope to see you again soon.